kindly don't harm anything on the road in the enforcing anything unlawful. Steve, I'm glad you're back on the speaker panel. You were telling us something. Speaker, I hope you had concluded. I can see your mic is still on. Thank you for muting. Steve, you are ready now?
Yes, please. Thanks, Wanda. So what I was saying is that the advocate of the High Court just 4.0 indicated that the only legal way of getting Ruto out is through Parliament, in being forced to be, to resign, being impeached, essentially. But I think also the Constitution talks about the president can exit via resignation. And resignation sometimes is not voluntary. It's the people who can put enough pressure for the president to realize that his ongoing tenure as president is not tenable. And that's what we are doing. And if someone tells you that what you are doing is unconstitutional, you should point them that the Constitution allows us to petition or to ask our president to step aside. Because, guys, this is 2025. And we have come far to get the democratic space that we have right now. So if someone emerges who is president and who is acting like he is leading a country in the 80s and 90s, we can tell him, no, brother, this is 2025. You cannot continue to be president while you're abducting, you're presiding over abductions, you're presiding over extrajudicial killings and forced disappearances. Not in this century. We are not forcing Ruto out because he has underperformed. If it was an underperformance, we could have given him time, try to be gentle with him. But it's because when he was imposing punitive taxes on us last year, we came out and said no to Finance Bill 2025. And instead of listening to the people, he came out and brutalized and suppressed and initiated through his state agencies killings and abductions. And he pretended to go along with the people momentarily by setting aside his cabinet, but later on he brought them all back and he has continued to in the same path. And so we are saying too much bloodshed, we cannot have you anymore, sorry, you have to step down, you have to go. And I think this is the moment, guys. This is the moment where the country has to go on a sustained protest and say, you must step aside. I saw the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga come out today, and now he's trying to claw his way back to the people, trying to appear like he's siding with the people by proposing some sort of intergenerational dialogue. I think it means national dialogue of sorts. But we are saying, no, we cannot have national dialogue under President Ruto because he has proven time and time again that he is not pro-Constitution 2010. And that is the first condition for someone to preside over any national dialogue that is going to bear any fruit. You have to be pro-Constitution. Why are we fighting for democratic space in 2025? And yet these things have been captured already in the Constitution. It's because we have a president, we have had two successive terms, the Uhuru presidency and the Ruto presidency, both of whom were not for Constitution 2010. So we cannot go to another dialogue with a president who is essentially opposed to the current constitutional order, who does not want to abide by the Constitution. And that is where we are saying any dialogue that happens has to be under a transitional government. That we are saying Ruto must resign, Ruto and Kindiki, and then we can have 60 days and Kenyans can propose to have a transitional government of sorts. Because to have dialogue under Ruto, whom we know he is not in any way inclined to rule according to the phrasings of this constitution. So thank you, guys. I'm gonna be listening to the rest of you.
Thank you so much, Steve. Thank you so much, Steve, again for joining us. And I think that is what I wanted to really ask Wakili. There is a provision under our constitution where the president can't resign, because I had earlier asked Wanjira, an advocate of the High Court, who is here with us, and she did explain how, and she really emphasized on the House of the National Assembly that can help the people really get rid of this president. But as things sit today, the House called Parliament is more of a rubber stamp of the executive, and it complicates things. And what Kenyans are simply now on the street is to put more pressure on resignation. And I wanted to bring in Wanjira to expound a little bit on that article that speaks about resignation of the president. How do we maneuver through that? Do we still need the National Assembly on that? And another thing that Steve has pointed that is very, 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 very important, Wanjira, we have been here before. Because I'm reacting this on a presser that has been given by the leader. I don't know if to still call him the leader of opposition. I don't know where he stands. Raila Odinga has given another presser. And we have been here before. We were here in 2007 or 8, I believe. I was very young. And we saw the National Accord that ushered in a Nusu Mkate government. The cries then are still the cry today. The things that the people are struggling with then are still the very, very, very thing. Uhuru comes in, later on, we have something called the handshake in form of these, to quote, let us talk. The handshake comes in, a lot of politics there and there, BBI and stuff. The conversation again is lost. William Ruto comes to power, Dioyo, things go. We end up losing again a lot of billions in the name of NADCO report. Wanjira, as an advocate of the High Court, have we not done enough talking as a country?
G, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. Yes, we have definitely done enough talking as a country. To be honest, I think the reason why I didn't even talk about the resignation of the president is because resignation, you have to have and what would I even call it, like an iota of decorum. You would have to have some dignity and respect for the office for you to analyze the environment and see that I am no longer adding any value to this office. You would have to look around you and read the constitution and see that there's nothing about me that matches at chapter 6 of the constitution, and see that it will be better for this country to progress without me at the helm, right? You would have to have an appreciation for what this office means to the people, and understand that this office is not my personal property, that I do not have to have this office, that other people can come and do better than me, and then step aside, right? So that is why I didn't even talk about resignation of the president, because you would have to be a man of a certain caliber or woman of a certain caliber for you to understand that I will step aside because I am not performing. The people, my employers, are not happy with me, right? That is the mentality, that is the state of mind you have to have as a president in order for you to resign. Okay? And that is not a man that is going to resign, because as we speak right now, I do not know, maybe some of us have forgotten, but just late last year, Cherargei, a crony of the president, one of his lapdogs, had brought a bill to extend the term limit of the president. Okay? You have also had others, some of his other backing dogs, like Oscar Sudi, saying, yeah, we are not going, okay? Hata kama kura zitatosha, tutafanya kura zitoshe, right? So that is not a man that has the mentality or the state of mind or respect for the office of the president enough to resign. That is why I did not talk about resignation, because that resignation is voluntary. He would have to write to the speaker, right, of the assembly, as per Article 146, and step aside, okay? You have seen in this country, there's a culture of people refusing to step aside, refusing to resign, refusing to, be demoted or to step out of office, even when their hand has been caught, directly in the cookie jar. They've been caught with their pants down, right? Because if there was a culture of resignation in this country, Eliud Lagat would not be in office. Let us tell each other the truth. And the person that commands Eliud Lagat, you do not expect that kind of person to step aside. That is why I did not talk about resignation of the president, because that has to be willful. I have to do a soul searching with myself and see that I have to resign because my employers are not happy with me. Okay? Now, to your question about dialogue, I do not want any person here to think about dialoguing with these people. Okay? because they do not honor any promises. They do not honor any agreements you make with them. Okay? Let us even just begin with the most recent thing that happened. I think they called it the broad-based government or blood-based government or bread-based government, right? They came up with a memorandum of maybe 10 things that they agreed upon, one of which was abductions. Just last week, we were talking about Ndiangui having been abducted, and then they staged a situation where Ndiangui looks like he had gone into hiding. So these are not people that can be negotiated with, okay? Because these are thieves, and there is no honor in thieves. Okay, you do not expect to negotiate with these people and get anything out of it. The parents of the victims of, the murders last year in June told us that, the government spoke to them, and even now they have not kept their promises. Are those the people you want to negotiate with? Just maybe a week or 2 weeks ago, Albert's father said that the president called him, but he still has not received his money. Are these the people you're negotiating with? These people have murdered us. Just today, I've seen a body being dragged across I do not even know how to put this. The people at the helm have told the police to shoot us on sight. These are the people you want to negotiate with. Rasji, I do not have much to say, but there cannot be any talk of negotiation with this administration because it does not have honor within itself. It cannot honor us. At this point, negotiating with them would be like prioritizing peace. Me personally, I am a student of Julius Malema when he says that there cannot be peace before justice. Justice will come before peace, okay? Justice will come before negotiations. Justice will come before we sit down at the table with these people. There cannot be dialoguing with these people. That is all I'm going to say, Rasji. I do not have, I'm sorry, the way the system has radicalized us, I do not see any hope at the end negotiating with these people. Because for them, negotiating means, let us have peace. What peace? Where is the peace? Where is the peace supposed to come from? So no dialogue, no nothing. Let us see this thing through to the end. That is all I wish to say, Rasji. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Wakili, for that. Thank you so much. And once again, Wakili is still appealing, if you know anybody, any person that has been arrested today and you know the police station, kindly let us know, or you can kindly let her know in her, you can DM her, you can DM us, you can DM Hillary, so that we can convey this to our able and very determined people who have been with us all along. And I really want to laud the Law Society of Kenya and Wakina Wanjira for doing this for the people. And it's good that, Wanjira, you have brought that up. And it's good always to remind the people that there's nothing good that will come out of Raila Amolo Odinga or what he is supposedly telling us that we should do. We have been here, and I'm glad that you have pointed. Just recently, they went in an arrangement called the Broad-Based, and he came out telling the whole republic that there are things they had signed with this government. One of them was abduction, and instead of abduction stopping, they were accelerated at a very, 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 very high rate. So I don't know what Raila Amolo means with another conversation. And it's so hard, so sad for him to even say that, Murkomen apologized. I don't know if people get killed and you go and apologize to Raila Amolo Odinga, then it means you have been, wewe ni mweupe kama pamba. I think this is another attempt to bring in the Capitol Hill laundry affair that is meant to clean people. You go dirty, you go rogue, but once an angel in the eyes of this government called Raila Amolo Odinga akikusafisha, and then you are as white as snow. And it's so sad to hear Raila Amolo Odinga telling the country that Murkomen apologized and then we should forgive him. No, I think the forgiveness lies with the Supreme Maker, and that is the God. And thank you for putting it in black and white, Wanjiro, that the only way we can get our nation back is making sure that we see these to the very end. And we continue to appeal to the young people of this nation, who the political class has decided to use to help them bring a narrative in this country. And the narrative is that the maandamano and whatever we are agitating for is not peaceful, is violent to the young people. Kindly don't fall in this trap. And we like saying it the truth. To the leadership of Nairobi, to the leaders that have been very crooked on this, they know themselves. We have an MCA that has been on the forefront. Alikuwepo wakati wa Albert issue, sending goons to the public. We have seen the leadership of Nairobi County also in the forefront on this. Those leaders, the public knows them. The young people, to my fellow young people, don't subscribe yourself to this nonsense. You're simply halting your futures. The politician money is dirty money. Wachaneni nayo. Fight for your country in an orderly, organized manner. Not by going to loot, not by breaking people's home, not by raping people, very innocent ladies. Kindly, young people in this nation, kindly don't be caught on this. And we are appealing also to the distress call we are getting from Rongai and Lower Kabete. Please, if kama kuna watu unaona wanataka usaidizi, kindly don't hesitate to help them. Help us, because our unity is what is going to get us out of this problem. The moment they divide us, because there have been deliberate efforts to divide the people of Kenya along tribal. On these spaces, we are not tribal. We are speaking in one voice, and we agree as a people that we have a problem in this nation. And that problem has to be fixed. And it does not have to wait for another time. The moment is now. And it cannot be fixed through the dialogue the political class want us to call us. They know the problem. William Ruto he knows where the problem are. He knows where the problem is. He has deliberately decided not to fix the problem. He was handed the memoranda by the young people last year. He went against the memoranda. He brought in the same individual that we told him, these are not the individual to fix our country. He has gone to mutilate, disrespect, and dishonor the Constitution. So then again, no, we don't need any dialogue. And thank you, Wanjira, for that. Let me bring in Cairo. Cairo, thank you for joining us this evening. I hope you can hear me. What is your reaction on Maandamano today?
Asante sana Ras. Hey, today, I'm just a sad person. I would like to bring an angle of being a patient advocate. Currently, I'm the director for AUPA, that is African Umbrella of Patient Association. And today, the one shocking thing is in Kitengela, patients were attacked. Medics were attacked in a hospital by goons because of this maandamano. That's how sad we have fallen as a nation. On Kiambu Road, there's a lady who was going to pay the hospital bill for her father. Police stopped her, took away the cash she was going to pay the bill for her father who is hospitalized. Yeah, that's how low we have sunk as a nation. So the police took her money, went with her money that she was going early in the morning to take to the hospital to pay her father's bill. And the best thing the police could say, kwa nini haukuweka hiyo pesa kwa M-Pesa? Yeah, that's how sad. Then goons today in Kiambu, guess where they were dropped off to come and create havoc in Kiambu, where peaceful protesters were just protesting, demanding for, a better Kenya at Kiambu Mortuary. Again, in association with the health facility. That's how sad our country has. That's how down the road the country is actually going. And I would like to appeal to everyone here, if you are aware of any patient issue, or maybe today any of your patients have been attacked in a hospital, feel free to reach out to me. We are offering services. We are also going to sue the government because those patients are vulnerable. These are people who have gone to seek healthcare, but the police, the goons, decided to attack them. You can imagine Kenyans seeking healthcare services, and then they are shot along the way, okay? Them blocking the roads. Imagine blocking all roads. So how were people supposed to access healthcare services? You see, these are some of the things this government did not think through. You can imagine that expectant mother who is about to go deliver. Then you have found a block, yeah, a roadblock. Then Karawa anakuuliza maswali hapo, yeah, and you're in pain or you're in agony, okay? Now imagine there's a medic who was to rush to go offer services. So what happens? Will people risk their lives to be shot dead because they're running from one hospital to another to offer medical services? Let's think through it. It is that bad. So today it was very shocking. From a patient advocate side, I am really sad because if we go on like this, you can imagine each and every one of us here can be a patient tomorrow. So what happens? Yeah, how do we access these facilities? And then are these medics safe? Remember those people who guard our hospitals. Majority of them don't even have guns or whatever. And then goons come, attack and beat up those people. Are those patients really safe? Last time in the June 25th protest, we saw a lot of gang raping. So why would those same goons rape women in those medical facilities? Think about it. Anyway, when I think about all these things, I am just a sad Kenyan. Anyway, let me take a breather. But I hear people talking about dialogue, people talking about at the parliament. Let me give you a snippet. I participated in the 2022 general elections. I actually vied for a political position. And I can tell you beyond a reasonable doubt, the parliament in that, the whole parliament in our country has already been captured, both on the opposition side and both on the government side. You ask me how? For you to have ran for an MP position, William Ruto loaned you money. So once you clinch that seat, you have to sing to his tune because you owe him. Most of these MPs, mishahara yao inabakingi maybe at a 2,000 bob. It is cut because they have to pay back the loan they were given. Because as a country, we have focused on money kind of politics. If today Beatrice Cairo comes to run for a political position, you'll start looking at me, am I driving a car? You'll start looking at me, how much money do I have? You look at me, how expensively have I won? You'll even start looking at me. You will not even listen to the content I am actually giving. You'll start gauging me, based on my money value. So because most of these politicians have learned that, when people are vying for, some of us ran for independent as an independent candidate because we did not want any politician to own us. I did not want anybody's dirty money to own me. So that when I enter that political seat, I will defend values because no one gave me anything. It is just the people who pushed me into that political position. But let me tell you, shock on us. And to make matters worse, being a woman, it was such a difficult thing. So these people, they have learned because we love money. You go wanting a political position. They realize you have a gift, you have a talent. Maybe you can articulate issues. Maybe you have a good standing with the people, but they know you're broke, you don't have money. So these politicians, they will look for you. They sit you down. They tell you, how much do you have? And then you will say, I have 1 million or 2 million, or even you have nothing. Maybe you're going to your friends to raise those funds. Then these political guys will tell you, you know what, I can give you 30 million, or I can give you 35 million. Maybe in your entire working career, you've never even accumulated that 35 million in the first place. But because most of these guys are greedy, they just want this position. Not that because they want to help Kenyans, just to make a statement, a status quo. They take up that money. Once they take up, now the blackmail begins. Yeah, these people, that's why nothing that will ever be passed on that parliament will ever go through unless ule mkubwa hapo juu amesema. So when you tell me that this parliament can impeach this president, let's forget about that. That one haita happen. Number two, this president being I sometimes look at him and I'm like, this guy is not mentally stable. There's something wrong somewhere. But anyway, this guy will let her wake up one morning at he resign. Who to resign? The person who burned children and women in Kiambaa Church. The person to wake up and say, at now akona moral, at now he's looking back and being remorseful. Who? The one Jirongo told us that he saw him kill someone with his own two hands. I don't see him resigning. So currently as a nation, we are suffering what we have a political problem. Until we solve that political problem, we will never have economic solutions. And until we have economic solutions, that's when we'll experience our health rights. That's when we'll experience our education rights. That's when we as a country, each individual can produce something. Because the reason why we as young people are demonstrating is because we are not being allowed to produce. And the thing about human beings, we are not robots. You want to produce something. You want to stand for something. You want to be meaningful in something. It doesn't matter whether it's making music. It doesn't matter whether it's, being a mechanic, making the vehicle. It doesn't matter whether you're a farmer, you want to produce your vegetables and feed the community. In each and every one of us, we want to produce something. We want a meaningful life. Now we have been put in a scenario. You don't know where you turn left, turn right. It doesn't matter whether you have academic degrees. They don't matter. I know of, recently we heard of doctors hawking dengue, lawyers be opening butcheries, engineers who are, can you imagine? You've been told education is the key. You've done it. You've worked hard. You've done everything possible in your own way. You've gone to that beauty school, learned how to plait hair. You've gone to art school, learned how to draw and do paintings, only for you to come out here and you find a system that will prevent you from thinking and prevents you from producing. So where will you go? So that's why we have a lot of mental health cases. You will think people are mad or there's something wrong with your chemical balance. They'll come and lie to you, oh, you have a mental health disorder. You don't have a mental health disorder. It is just because you're not being allowed to be a human being. So that's how sad it has been, to the point now, even when you are a patient, the same government is going to look for you in those hospitals and beat you up. That's how sad the state of affair is. So I'm urging Kenyans, the only way this government can come to its knees is just that economic sabotage. Where people, we will not go out there we go be shot to Huawei. We will stay in our houses. Let's see whether without people, whether there'll be a country. Let's see without people where there'll be economic growth. Because this government thinks, like today CBD, people didn't go to CBD. Many people didn't go to CBD. But the whole place was shut down. It tells you it is the people that moves the economy. It is the people that makes a nation. But these people think is brick and mortar is what that matters. That does not matter. So long as we are united as a nation, it doesn't matter whether the roads are there or not. But first and foremost, that human dignity, that sanctity of life. This government, it has done that to the dogs. They don't care at all. That's how sad it is. So guys, here, Upper Tuko, Sahi, we can decide. I think I read somewhere, I am forgetting which country this was. They did not protest, they did not fight. They just went to a road and sat on the road. They didn't do anything, they didn't move. And for days, until that government decided, we have to do something. So remember right now, William Ruto has monopoly of violence. That's the unfortunate, sad thing about us here in Kenya. There are no gun laws. We cannot defend ourselves. The only way you can fight is either you scream with your phone, fight with your hands. But you see, they are just killing us like flies. Yeah, uko hapo na simu yako barana kushoot tu. Another one we've seen, amekuwa dragged. Yani amedragiwa na rami mpaka kwa police station. That's how they devalue our lives. So let's do that economic sabotage. We stay in our homes. We say we are not paying our taxes. We say we are not doing anything. And then let's see where this government, we will go. Where will this country go? So we can change our tactic. We should not feel defeated. We keep on pushing until we get it right. Until we get that which pertains us as a people. So I appeal to people, if you feel, you can DM me. If you have a patient, we will offer services, we will represent you, we will assist wherever we can. So don't shy away, just DM, we will support you people. But we keep the struggle on until we get what we want. But for now, the route of resignation, the route of dialogue, to do all those routes will not work. The only way it can work is, first and foremost, don't give these politicians any airtime. Hata akikuja sijui kwa nini watu wanawasalimia. Yeah, yani deplatform them. Don't even follow their Twitter. Don't even, my friend, someone like Esther Pasari was crying at it because she couldn't go to a Bakasi Girls. It's burning. And now she's afraid she can't go because these people have learned they only get from us our energies and all that. Yeah, we just, censor these people. Don't listen. You meet a politician, you pass them. Here in Kambuas, we just pass them. We don't care. If someone tries to shout and kohoa so that we cannot muheshimiwa amepita, we're like, which muheshimiwa is this? We don't give them any airtime. And that is the first thing we can do. To the point now they start crying, they're demanding for attention. We are not giving them, because this is what makes these politicians think they are special and think they're important, instead of them knowing that they are servants of the people. So give them no airtime. If you own a media house, if you own a podcast, stop hosting these individuals. Some of these people also let us down. You are hosting Sijui Farukol, you are hosting Sijui Sudi Sijui, you are hosting them on your show so that you can gain followers. And then which Kenyans are these? You are going there to listen to Sudi or Kipchumba Murkomen. What is new they are going to tell you? There's nothing new they're going to tell you. So we need to cancel all these people and not listen to them. Anyone who is not working for Kenyans, atufai compare any airtime. They don't deserve our attention. They don't deserve our time. They don't even deserve us mentioning their names. So even in your own small way, in your own small, unique ways, you can still contribute to the protest. I have seen some people, they have produced some to posters, some to stickers, and they're putting them on their doors. It's still a form of protest. Protest still lazima turushe mawe. Protest can be, we deplatform these people. Protest can be, these people try to get an event. People don't appear. I wonder even where these people even get these people to appear in those events they usually go. Someone, for example, Farouk Siju went Namu, they're doing economic empowerment, and then all they can do is sexualize a whole woman, surely. Those are the politics we are talking about in this country. It is such a sad state. These people, I don't care. And let's teach our parents, uko nyumbani, the people in the village. Me, I'm deliberately, personally, anywhere, anybody who is connected to me, I am civic education. Civic education, you don't need a hall. Civic education is those 10 friends of yours. Civic education is those relatives and your family members. Ukienda ushago when you're kunywa your supu na uji. You educate them and tell them these guys are robbing us. Yeah, teach them. That enlightenment is very much important. In that small, unique way, you're still doing protest. So that we just remove this political class right now. But the first thing and foremost, let's mute them. Asanteni sana.
Russ, you're there. Because I'm told Russ anataka kutafuta a cup of coffee. He has been co-hosting for some time. Now, I can see the hand of two brains raised, but I really like what Kairu is presenting as at least way forward, because we need how to change tactic. Like, I like the fact that let's just go sit on the road, do nothing, because the moment we even say that we're going to do peaceful demonstration, these guys are out shooting and killing people. And they equally like the fact that we're giving these guys too much airtime. Why invite this politician aende pale kwenye I don't know, news media, ameenda sijui which TV station, addressing the members of the public, the same people that are supposed to be passing pieces of legislation that are supposed to protect people, supposed to make things work. They're the same people that are making things in Arabika. Then we keep on giving them airtime, keep branding them waheshimiwa and such a kind of statement that are ruining the country. Now, allow me to bring on two brains, ili tusikie what you have to say. Two brains.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to have my voice heard. Thank you to all the people who have been talking here. And They've been doing an incredible work to make sure that they are heard. I hope I'm audible.
You are. Omiti, could you kindly mute so that we don't have the echoes, so that at least one person speaking at a time, it makes it more clear. Omiti, kindly. Two brains, continue.
Thank you very much. I think today the peak of sorrow was when I saw that clip of an innocent patriotic citizen having his dead body dragged as if he carries no significance, as if he did not earn a place amongst the living, as if his voice was a noise that brought about disturbance to every living creature, as if his voice was the demon of impunity talking. Such kind of a treatment can only be served to people who disregard humanity, people who have no room to respect the law, people who have no humanity in them whatsoever, whichever nature. And you have to really sit down and ask yourself, as an individual who aspires to be a parent one day, or as an individual who is already a parent, or when we already have young siblings, you really have to sit down and ask yourself, is this the nation that I will leave behind to the people who are looking at me or at us as the role model? When this nation was called for independence, the root reason for why people left their homes, consciously knowing very well they might not come back, was because there was a demand for freedom. There was a demand for self-leadership. We did not need the colonialists to drive this nation forward. Our ancestors were very okay with how they were governing issues, how they were running issues. And I think that was the beginning of a quagmire whereby our nation is suffering injustices. The saddest thing that I've had in this space is when a lady has been given an opportunity to talk and she talks in utter fear, not knowing when her next minute will happen, to a point of almost crying. She even said that she cannot do anything, or they cannot do anything that will attract attention towards them. Mind you, those people and our sister are not criminals. They are not thugs. They are not a cabal. They are citizens, just like you and I. Accountability has become a nightmare to this leadership. Responsibility has become the biggest burden to this regime. And they dare think that we are wrong and they are right. A nation whose money is allocated to issues which are not needs, they are essentially wants. A nation that is ready to orchestrate a 1.2 billion structure that will be the foundation of dividing the nation into religion cocoons. Because if we do make a Christian church, then we can also say our Muslim brothers also have a right to demand that a mosque be planted or be erected at the State House. It will also move the, the Indians, which are living within the nation, to have a temple erected at the same state. A move that is clearly engineered to make sure that the nation has been divided in terms of religion, since the state has discovered the majority are now no longer buying the tribalism card. So what do they resort next to? They calculate a move and they bar the move to divide the nation into religion groups. They are serving a table in the manner in which the anarchists, the dictators of Nigeria did, and they divided the nation into religion basis. And aside from dividing them into religion basis, they weaponized propagandas and they separated the nation, which has the potential of being amongst the nations which can command in the whole world because they have enough resources. And people should know, especially the political class and anybody who is aspiring to be a politician and maybe has meddled their mind into how the political class interjects sober people and converting them into people whom can further the agenda of division. I want to serve them a cold reminder that Kenya is no longer the same. The politics of Kenya have taken a new turn. It's a new awakening on the horizon. From this moment going henceforth, we'll have no leader who will come before us and tell us, I am from the Kikuyu community, I'm from the Luo community, I'm from the Luya community. From this moment forward, we want to know, how are you spending our taxes? When you say you're constructing a road, we want to know, how much have you allocated into the road? And by that, can we have accountability measures by which you can hold the contractors? The contractors shouldn't just be confidential. It should also be made public so that when we have an issue with a road, for example, we are claiming to have a dual carriage, Nairobi to Nakuru. We should have these people, their contracts being made public so that we, who are the providers of the funds, can be able to question them and tell them, my friend, you're a contractor. And by the power that we donated to our leaders, they gave you this contract. Why is it that we don't have a road from Nairobi to Nakuru, which is dual carriage? What are you lacking that you're not committed to your work? Watching people walk into a hospital and surely at the lowest belt of humanity, beating patients, beating doctors, has to be the lowest moment that the goons have lived and will ever live. I mean, the doctors are not in the streets, they're in the wards, they're in the ICUs, they are attending to people who are dying, fighting for their lives. They are not in the streets. They are not even fighting the police. They are fighting death for the patients. And then you go there, walk into a hospital, a person who's not even concerned with anything to do with the demos, who is fighting for their life, you walk in and you beat the life out of them. And you would wonder if a police really knows the value of life, because the reason as to why we have them is to protect lives, not to take lives, to protect lives. That's their core job description. They don't have any other job description, just to protect life. But then if you're taking away lives, it means that the credential that you carry, number one, is that you have absconded your legal job description. Because tell me why. Tell me why in the whole world you would go around doing what criminals do. What kind of an audacity, what kind of jurisdiction do you hold to even hold criminals and take them to police stations? Because the moral authority that police have, is that they can arrest criminals because they themselves are not criminals. Because they hold a moral compass, because they are not criminals, that they can dictate how the security apparatus should run about. But when we have police who are in the streets and they are killing innocent citizens, I think they should know when the books of accountability will be read, we will also have them talk to us. Because we are not saying Ruto must go so that we can initiate another criminal enterprise. No. We are doing this so that we can create a foundation by which we shall bring all these people before the accountability and the law and measure them according to the law. We will demand for every person who was given an order to kill innocent citizens. And they tell us, what national purpose did that death serve us? Because they think it's only a matter of Ruto must go. We will do a total cleansing to this whole system. Not just the politicals. Not just the leaders. No. Not just the anti-freedom bloggers. We'll bring them to the book. Every one of them. They must tell us what purpose was it serving us. And let the political elite and the political legacies know this. You might be in power today, but being in power, you're in power only today, not forever. You're not in power forever. You're in power only today. Tomorrow, we will be in power. We will call you to the book. We will call you to the law. And we will ask you, please tell us, killing our brothers served what purpose? Having Rex buried 6 feet under, what national interest did it serve? And another thing, finally, as I close in on this, you know, the power that is donated to our leaders, as it is famously quoted in Article 1, that power is birthed from the citizenship. Power should be consistent with the voice of the people. That's when we get to realize that you are not for the people, you're not for the nation. Because the nation will always talk and provide guidelines by which you should practice the power that we have given unto you. We've given you power to perform justice. We've given you instrumental value so that you can perform accordingly. We've given you power to empower the infrastructures which are poor in performance, to ensure that the systems that we have in place are powerful enough, are efficient enough. So when we give you power to reign, you must know that we also have the ability and we can demand to subdue that power and call you to books and call you to home. And all the political leaders should know they are not above the law. Yeah, when we say they are not above the law, we are saying they must listen what the donators of power are saying. I don't see anybody who is who is sovereign and sober-minded can tell you to perform anarchist activities in foreign countries. No, Kenya never told you to go and perform anarchist activities in foreign countries. None whatsoever. That's not our interest. Kenya has never told you to go and loot money. Nobody ever donated you power to steal money. And so that will be all I can say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Two Brains.
Oh, thank you. Maybe I'll do this, then I'll allow Russ to continue. So thank you so much, our brother, for that. Maybe I'll mention one thing, then I'll allow Rasji to pick on and continue with the hosting of the meeting. I want to take you through the history of Paul Biya, who is the current president of Cameroon at 92 years of age. Paul Biya at some point was the prime minister of this country. Then in 1982, Paul Biya became the president. That was after Amadou resigned. Unexpectedly, the guy resigned. Now, 2 years after Paul Biya became president, there was an attempted coup. That was in 1984. So that attempted coup that was almost in 1982. I mean, in 1984 in Cameroon, made Paul Biya an iron-faced man. Made Paul Biya consolidate so much power on himself and the people around him. And today, Cameroon is not a country that someone will imagine as a democratic or a free nation or a sovereign state. Now, when you look into what is happening today, someone or those in power will imagine that there is an attempted coup, and you have heard them mention that. You have heard them point fingers and say, this is, people are trying to get power through the different means that are not democratic. And therefore, in the minds of those guys, there is an attempted coup already. So if in the mind of this person, just like Paul Biya, that there is an attempted coup, and looking into what Paul Biya did, consolidating power on himself, and leading this country from 1982 to date, he's still the president. Then the rhetorics that we have had, people, senators or the leaders in parliament trying to come up with pieces of legislation or just an idea that we can change the constitution so that this guy remains in power for at least for either 3 terms or more than 3. You heard the other day when people were using these bad words like mwanaume sijui wenda ngapi, then we had someone mentioning hata tunaweza tukaamua hata ziwe ni 3. Then people laugh it up and imagine that it's just a statement. Now, looking into these 2 countries, Cameroon, Kenya, Paul Biya, William Ruto, and what is happening today, we really need to take some things very serious, because what is happening today, the goons, the police, and everything, it's already something that is leading into the same direction. And we are surrounded with countries with neighbors like Paul Kagame. We know what this guy is doing. We have people like Museveni. We know what this guy is doing and has been doing. So let us face what is happening today with the seriousness it deserves. Lastly, kuna watu tunaita bloggers. A person can only become a blogger when we give them, when we are following these people, when we give them a platform to blog. Mbona tunashinda tukisema so and so is a blogger or sijui wa serikali, sijui anafanya what and what, and we are still following these people? Why not unfollow them at once? Then we see what they will blog. Huwa tunakosea na sisi wenyewe. We cry and say so and so is a government blogger, but we are following this person. Wake up one morning, then unfollow all these people. Mwache na followers 10, then you see what these people will do. Rasji.
Thank you, Wanda. Thank you, Wanda, for for taking us through. You really handled it, and I love that. You really handled it well, and I hope we do this. I hope you're not tired. You are not tired. Let us preach the truth gospel, the true gospel to the people. And we are taking stock of what has been happening today. It was Saba Saba. I know most of the youth, most of the GNZ, not so much interested with the history, with the rhetoric and stuff. They just went to the streets to demand for a better country, a country where system work. But we are not downplaying the Saba Saba. No Saba Saba, we acknowledge, we salute everything, the likes of James Orengo, the likes of Martha Karua, so many, Paul Muite. There are so many people who fought for second liberation, not forgetting Reverend Joya and others, Raila Amolo Odinga. But then again, there is the young people who want to take the country to another level. And they are saying loud and clear, we respect you, we really respect you, but at this particular time and moment, the country can only take off with a very different mindset. And I think as the young people, that is where we are. And first of all, I want to salute our host, Hillary, for allowing us to do this. And thank you so much. And to my co-host, to my other co-host, Wanjuru was here. Now I'm having Wanda. Thank you so much. And let us speak also to those who might be having questions from the legal end. There are questions you want to ask. I think we are having our good advocate Wanjira is also on the speaker panel. You can ask those questions. Hillary, I'm also hoping that you will be bringing in new speakers so that we can now have new energy on the platform. And we're also appealing to the public, especially those on Lower Kabete. I've had distress call from Lower Kabete. There are people stranded. There are people asking for help. They're asking for you guys to allow them have a shelter. Don't expose them to the goons because, like how Wanda has put it, there is a very big, deliberate attempt by the political class to use goons to advocate some of their narrative. Kindly don't let your brother or your sister who is in need of a help, kindly accommodate them. Don't let them in the cold. Alafu tuanze cases zingine zenye tungekuwa tuna avoid. I'm also appealing to the young people who have been given machetes, who have been given rungus and stuff to go and cause havoc, violence in different parts of our country. This is our country. We don't have any other country. And we are appealing to the leadership of this country. We are appealing to the legislators who are serving under the mercy of the executive. If this country is going to collapse, because we are on a cliff, we will all collapse in it. You can treat the money, you can treat the tenders, that all sorts of things that you have been doing in that house in the name of protecting a regime. Kindly do the rightful thing. You are sent there to legislate, you are sent there to represent, and you are sent to do oversight. You have failed in those three things. Kindly rescue our country by talking to the leadership of this country led by William Ruto. I know you can access him. I know you can talk to him. Talk to him that Kenya does not belong to him alone and few of his friends. This country belongs to everybody, and we are all stakeholders in this country. We cannot let the country go to the dogs simply because of a few individuals who have deliberately refused to do the rightful things. So thank you once again, Kenyans, ladies and gentlemen. Let us keep the conversation going. What is happening on your end? How was Saba Saba to you? I had a previous speaker who was here, a lady. She spoke of deplatforming these people. And I love the fact that, Wanda, you have touched on the bloggers. There have been a very deliberate effort. And remember also, This government came to power courtesy of bloggers. There was a very there was a finance was set aside to recruit bloggers, and I'm appealing to these bloggers because they are young men like me and you. Kindly desist. Do not tweet on behalf of a tyrant who has no any regard for the nation. Kindly. I don't know where Wanda you are in terms of speakers, but I can see Dr. Nimrod's hand is up. So as we come in, if you wanna contribute, if you wanna speak, kindly give us your hand, and then I'll be picking from the hands now. Kindly, if those on the speaker panel, if you want to speak, please just raise your hand, and I'll be picking. So we are starting with starting with the doctor. I don't know, wonder if Dr. Nimrod has spoken. And if not, Doctor, you are there?
Thanks, Hilary. Thanks. First of all, we pay respect to the guys who left us today. The people, what wameongea hapa, the reality is kuna hiyo video nimeshare hapo ina trend saizi, au masoja wakivuta hiyo body hiyo boy, you know, that is a reality. People need to look in the face and ask themselves, is that the way to run a country? Guys, this is not a fight for politicians, it's a fight for our nation. So we can sit here and talk, but we need to start protesting in so many ways. I saw the banners in Kisumu. Hizo zinasema Kikuyu, for what? Now we start printing banners and hanging in our windows. Kwa balkoni yako una hang. Ruto is not my president. Ruto must go. Na flag ya Kenya as a form of protest. You know, let's make a statement to the system that we own the system. When Ruto akipoa power, he took a Bible and swore to the Bible to protect the Constitution. The Constitution is Kenyans, chapter 1 of the Constitution. If he doesn't want to resign, he can call a snap election. Yeah, if he thinks he's got the power and he's got the means, he calls a snap election. Akishinda, aendelee. Then he sees what the country will do. If he doesn't want to leave it with bloodshed, because the killing is unbelievable. What's the difference between that clip and the Rwanda genocide? People don't realize the impact of it. You know, and like somebody came up, a lady also mentioned about economical sabotage. That's a really good form. Our vijana wasirelent. Alafu the country has to accept, we have to take the bullet. We suffer for a short time, but we change the system. Ama sivyo ukianza hii mambo kuvutana itafika hapa 2027, we can't get 2027. No. The reality is that there's no dialogue if people can kill people, Kenyans like that. Huyu ni boy wa Kenya. That is a Kenyan son, a brother. Ama kara wako na mvuruta. Did they ever think that it could be their young brother? The boys in uniform. I was kwenye military. Look at that clip and take pride on it. Look at that clip and take pride on it. Because sababu mnasema protect system. It's only a few people up there. If they need to understand, you're the soldiers on the ground. Make a statement too. Wakenya wanapigania rights zenu. Nyinyi ndio mko na shida hata kuliko. There's a guy say amesema kuna ndio kuna shida kuliko Kenya wengi. But they don't see it. That clip should trend to their all websites and the DCI or Kenya police. It should trend in their walls. We fight if we don't nasema tu tukideploy kitu tuna attack na reality. Unaona? We have to show them that it is over. The game is over. We want a new system. Simple. That video is a statement to the country. We need brother mdogo. Come to think of it. Any Kenyan, whatever type of tribe you are, whatever corner you are in Kenya, we need brother anavurutwa hivyo amededi. And we call ourselves Kenyans, na tunakubali turuliwe hivyo. How? Guys, it's now or never. Thanks a lot for the space, and we march on.
Hey guys, umechoka. Okay, go ahead, mind over.
Shukran sana. Nashukuru sana kwa kutupea hii opportunity to exchange ideas na to analyze kenye ina happen. Ni sad sana. Tuko na police force yenye the best way wanaweza treat wa Kenya wenzao ni dragging them as if they've not committed the crime already. Now they go on and dehumanize the person, when they should be, if it is giving, first aid and all that kind of care. Our policemen cannot do that. So how are they going to protect us? So we know those are out of the question. So the question of the police is a question we look at, how can we organize ourselves and create, we talk about creating jobs. Let us, employ people that offer this kind of things and offer security, because it's a security issue. The machinery that is to offer security has failed. But this is how I see it. If you look everywhere in Africa, something is going on, whether it is Tanzania and the churches, whether it is Uganda and dictatorship, whether it is Burkina Faso, that have gone the other way. And here we are pushing. There are many forces at hand. And the reason, Ruto is very emboldened is because we have seen his friends, all those international friends he has. And we know the kind of character these people are. We know how they view our continent. For them, it is a source for raw material. So even what is happening, they're endorsing it. Behind the back channels there and all those channels they use, he has the blessing of, those their Masonic temples and their Masonic, things in all over Kenya. But it is crumbling. It is crumbling for them. We are seeing formation of new alliances, globally. And that is where we are pushing, and we cannot stop, because we shall be left behind again. Because when economies, we talk about the Singapore and all those economies, is because they were able to transition, into the jobs of the future at that time, and they went into, whether it is IT. We have made our gains, but we need still to make more gains. So even as we talk about economic or sabotage, how does that sabotage take form? This is where the minds come in, and we decide we can plan for for 5 or 10 projects that are going to take shape in 5 or 10 years. How we do business. How do we do business? It's becoming very difficult individually. With the licensing, it is collectively it is such a cost, and taxes are not being utilized as they are supposed. How do we control that? A country of 50 million, there should, when we talk about economies and sectors within the society, we should have sectors that directly cater for 20 million. We should not all be be basket, we are put in one basket that is government, that is very inefficient. But we have minds out here. We must, seize this as an opportunity where we start building, even as a form of defiance, as we, with all other forms of defiance, all have to take shape. And I think that is what we can control as a people. Because these people are out of control. They are totally out of control. If implication, a country, a country being implicated in destabilizing a member state of the United Nations. We are members of the United Nations, but our government has been implicated. But all those institutions, that were formed by several people. But that is why we look at what works for us, and we say the UN Charter. As Kenyans, we affirm the UN Charter at this point in history, and all charters that form international community, all human rights. We see that our human rights associations are being attacked by goons. Our statement has to be, directed to the people that, or the people in power. They have to hear, and they hear. The good thing is that we know. The best thing is that they are on these platforms just as we are. These are open forums. We are not. There is nothing that is said here that advocates for violence. But these are, government is structured now, and it is. Let me say this. I've heard people talk about, history. We cannot know where we are going if we do not know our history. Years, and you find people like Koitalel Arap Samoei, fighting against the British. 50 years later, Kimathi is fighting against the British. Who is our problem at this point in time? We must not, we must not close our eyes to history, because history is something good if you know it, and if you understand it, and if you are open, to alternative, causes of our problems. Because if it bottles down to employment, because all for, we reward, productivity with money. That is why they can wear 100,000 and 1,000,000 shillings, watches and suits and red bottom shoes, when there are people that are crying out, for decent living conditions, and they exploit those with their affordable housing, which is they exploit those and they loot those. They cannot be entrusted, and that is why I support Togo. I support Togo because it's the same things we are going on. What we have now is social spaces like this, and we must not stop occupying these spaces. We must, we must exchange ideas on how we are going to solve these problems away from government. Government is an inefficient institution, but we have failed to create, even systems that can take care even for groups of 10,000. If we say sitting in numbers, okay, let us put these numbers into use in different ways, not just the streets. After we come from the streets, we get into these spaces, we start deciding what are we going to build for ourselves. Individualism and capitalism is our, we have adopted systems of countries that are producers and manufacturers, that are industrialized. That is why the best way they can think that they can offer jobs is by exporting Kenyans. That is brain drain. Even for those in diaspora, now the discussions should start moving from how do we repatriate those in diaspora, how do they start coming back home to build their own country. We have land, we have entrepreneurship, the factors of production. Now we have enough people that can be very productive in our country. But what holds us back? Government. But you go and look at data and statistics. The year 2024, 2025, diaspora remittances, almost 5 billion Kenya shillings. Sorry, 5 billion US dollars. It was around 600 billion Kenya shillings. Why is 100 billion or even 10 billion not sustaining an economy by itself, collectively? That it is not part of this cycle of where we feed, we are feeding a mouth that is biting us. When you are feeding someone and that same person is biting it, and now he wants to eat the whole. Now he's killing us. He's been killing us. This government is illegitimate as any government can ever be illegitimate, and they became illegitimate as of my view on this government is that it is in office illegally as of the 25th of June 2024. They violated the people. They have kept on violating the people. And we cannot accept such mediocrity as what defines our nation. And that is why we cannot shy from calling out this government. It is, I have no more words for such a government. But history has told us and has shown us rebellion and revolution is the only way they hear. We rebel on the streets, and if they cannot hear us on the streets, we shall revert back to the forest. We have enough people in the police that are tired of them. We call on them defecting, and they stop working for the government as they are. Those that have been aggrieved, those that have been reprimanded, we need their services. We have to create how we are going to employ them so that they take over the future police forces. We cannot have people that kill people and they remain in office as if things are usual. Nothing is usual. All those in power that have refused to use their roles, their constitutional mandate to ensure that the country remains stable. They are the ones that are bringing militia and goons because, they love money so much. This government has defeated itself as, we are only saying what they have done. And it has involved killing and abducting young men. When young men should be in their productive years, doing their own things, building the nation, the only thing they can offer is corruption, murder, human trafficking. We are surprised that, doctors and patients are attacked in a hospital. We forget there is a nurse that was being abducted, after the NHIF thing, and SHA a year ago. And she was abused, They are continuing. I don't expect them to stop. They are so much drunk in power. Their time is up. And viva comrades. All comrades that have lost their lives, man, it is, if we shall build mausoleums for them and memorials that we own, we shall. There is enough willpower among these people and among the great minds in our country to be reduced. That is why I don't even mention names here. I don't talk about them. I deplatformed them even from my mind. I will not name any name of those, but I can call and say Ras G is a hero and is a true patriot by pushing the right conversation. Hillary and all those that are in this space. Let us see what we can do in our small gatherings. It is game on.
Thank you.
It is game on.
Thank you so much, Mind Over. Thank you for those wonderful and emotional, very emotional submission. And thank you for loving your country like that, because it's only patriots It's only patriots who talk like that. We have said, and I love the fact that my co-host Wanda brought this up, and something that, mind you, has repeated again, the power of deplatforming these people. We give power to these people. We really give the power by giving them the airtime, giving them the opportunity to hear their nonsense. So in our own small ways, let us start the business of deplatting from them. Secondly, there is something wonderful has come out of this place. There are so many ways of protesting. First of all, what about all of us have our national flags on our necks? On our necks, even at work. What about having that the national flag? Right now, our oppressors are even afraid of the national flag. Whenever they see you with a national flag, the first thing that comes to their mind, that's how a tyrant operates. When unaenda maandamano, we can have our national flag. Somebody had talked of banners in our houses. You have seen in the United States how proud they are about their country. The national flag, they can just hang in their houses. Our national flags can hang in each person's balcony and stuff. It's a one way of expressing ourselves. So in our own little ways, there are so many ways, and these will be covered by the world. This will be our statement. We are not in agreement with this regime. So there are so many things. There's also the hard way. Somebody talked here of deciding, and deciding is one day you talked of just people going, yeah, just people deciding. No, today we are sitting on the road. Those are the things people you can mention it, and people might take that one lightly, but it is a very, 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 very huge statement when taken outside there, because the people we are dealing with, like the previous speakers Wanda have said, these are not people that, first of all, respect the Constitution. So they are not ready to honor even the provision in the Constitution for them to get out. So since they don't have those honors, the only way we are, whatever we are left with is exercising the chapter in our Constitution, and that chapter is Article 1 of the of our Constitution. Now, let me bring in other new speakers, and thank you for the new speakers that have just joined us. I can see you, Jaber, Jacqueline, Dumash. Dumash, you have been here. I'll be giving you a chance. And I can see Deepak. Thank you, Deepak, for joining us. Cynthia, I'm seeing you, and Doctor, you have been with us here, and God. But let me go to Dumash, and then I'll bring in Japon. Japon, I'm really waiting to hear what you have to say, because I want to know what my friends in the Gulf are thinking about the unrest and the situation in the country, especially today, in the day of Saba Saba. Dumash, are you there? I can see your hand is up. Dumash, first of all, I want to know whether you are ready.
Yeah, yes, I am.
Yes, you are. What is your take today? Of course, killings happened. We are still seeing a rogue police killing people who are simply expressing themselves. We have had a situation where even a sad state of affair has been described here, of a body being dragged. Are you happy or are you sad with what is happening in our nation currently?
Yes, thank you, Ras G, for this opportunity. I won't even start by greeting you because, hey, today has been a heavy day. I just want to say rest in peace to everyone who lost their lives, and just to encourage everyone to take care, because I hear there are still shootings. At Amimi right now, I'm in a blackout. There are no lights here. So it's definitely a sad day. Since we started Maandamano from last year, this is the worst I think I have seen from my end. And I just want to say, rest in peace to the heroes. I have like a few minutes just before I get off the panel. Number one, I just want to say, I don't want to come in with feelings. I know my fellow panelists have talked, the speakers have talked a lot with feelings, talked about how they feel bad about whatever has happened today. And I know we are all hurt. I know we are all feeling it's not right, but I'm coming in with logic. And I'll just say, number one, I'll take you back to Moi era. Moi, I think, is the main veteran of President Ruto. Whatever President Ruto is doing is actually something that was done before. First of all, by Moi, we have seen the same pattern with Museveni. So it is not something new that is happening. And I'm sad to even say this, but ladies and gentlemen, we are officially experiencing a coup. And it's not a coup of military, it's a self-coup, whereby the president is actually strategically doing everything to stay in power. And as I was saying at first, Moi was only removed from the seat by people demanding for their rights through the constitution. Bure bila hiyo, he will still be ruling up to today if he was still, I don't know if he was still alive. And this is the same pattern we are seeing with Ruto. Ruto is 10 times ahead from us. And I just want to ask us, I'm also a Gen Z, just to ask us, who is winning this war? As the fact that we are going to the streets, it makes sense a lot. But don't you think things are strategically happening and it's deeper than we are thinking it is, just from what we are seeing with what is happening in the news, in the Twitter, there is something not adding up. And that's why I'm repeating and saying we have entered another level of a coup where we are probably being prepared mentally just to adapt to the fact that this is how things are going to be for some years now. And that comes to the fact that you've said about the Constitution. The Constitution is the only powerful thing right now that can help us have a dialogue and a debate with the current government. The fact that I'm hearing things about the Constitution being removed and blah, 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 I'm saying allegedly, says a lot, says that we are not winning this fight anytime soon. And I don't want you to attack me, but I'm just saying whatever has happened today, I think we need to sit down and just think through, not with feelings, but just as we are fighting, yes, let's sit down and really know what agenda are we putting in place so that we just don't go without an agenda. We just don't go aimlessly to the streets, because I have seen people lose their lives. This is not how it's supposed to be. I know in war, there has to be a winner and a loser. And I think, honestly, we are losing this fight. But it's okay, we can still fight for our rights. But that's my take. Like, it doesn't make sense. This guy is provoking people to the streets. Don't you think there is an agenda behind it? Don't you think people are being provoked and it is them gaining from these provocations? Do you think he cares? Do you think like he feels anything? It's benefiting him more, seeing blood, seeing all these things. I think he's gaining more power, and we are losing by just people losing their lives. So I think we need to change our strategy, because right now, since last year, someone said the only real Maandamano that took place was 25th June last year. And I'm really concurring with that statement, because right now things have already been planned. They've already put things in place, The police are no longer with us. They are not protecting us. The military is compromised. You see, so I don't know how we are going to win this fight, but all I can say is let's reason, let's put feelings aside and know what are we going to do. I know that the dialogue can't work. Right now, I don't think we can have a talk with the president, but what are we doing on our side? Because I think Wanda talked about the coup thing. And I really think we are being taken to a psychological preparation of us being ruled forcefully by the police and the president. So to just wrap up, I pray that hapa sasa imebaki Mungu. I know it doesn't, to some people it doesn't make sense, but I was being told only international organizations that deal with human rights will help us, and prayers and God. Those mambo ni mawili. So for today, I don't know. There's a lot of rage. There are people going to bury their children. Imagine sad videos everywhere, and they're not they're not being like haziekwi kwa TV, you know. So even people don't know what's going on. Our parents don't know, you know. So I have seen people being shot, and I know it's something bigger than we think. So we really need to think through. Thank you.
Thank you, Dumash. Thank you, Dumash. I'm sure it's just that we are on Hillary space. So, but I'm very sure if I would allow Kenyans to react on what you just said, because first of all, I acknowledge and I appreciate your sentiments. But then again, that is the kind of language the oppressor would always want you to, because first of all, I know the fear. I know you are concerned. People have been dying. People have been going to the street, but you have to be reminded there is no revolution. There is no revolution and power will not come to your house and be given to you. And neither will you take it away from them without a fight. So as much as you want to you cannot leave this to God. You cannot say that now we leave this to international community, we leave this to God. No. In fact, the people you are leaving to God are the same people that are telling you they are using 1.2 billion to build a church, which you know is not true. And they are telling you they are using the money from their own pockets, which is not true. So I know you have talked of a strategy. Strategies are so many. There are so many. There are those who cannot go. A revolution is fought by different sets of soldiers. There are those who stay in the house and do the injection like you're doing the injection. Play your part. That is your part. There are those who are determined. We have seen GNZ who have even made eulogies. They have communicated in advance that for us, if it will take my blood to save the nation, then I'm ready. So don't really discourage the whole movement, because the individual we are dealing with has not started killing today. You're talking as if you have not been in the country for some time. Go back to your history. Read about this individual. This individual was indicted by the ICC because of mass murder, because of very heavy crimes. So you don't think it will. The conviction in him is not there. He lost that one. Yeah. The only thing that can push him is the solidarity, the unity of all Kenyans. They can protest in whatever forms. There are soft forms, there are the hard forms, there are also all those kinds of things they are there. But don't discourage Kenyans. And don't even think that a conversation called dialogue will provide this country a solution. There was dialogue between the two of them, the opposition and the government. They came up with broad-based government. One of the things was there will be no abduction, there will be no killings. I want to pose to you, Dumash. Have you seen? What have we seen? We have seen even more abduction. We have seen more killing of and forceful disappearance of the young people. Before that, we had a handshake, a conversation about BBI and stuff. A lot of money was used. Nothing came out. Ruto was recently here with the NADCO report. Billions were used in the name of a conversation. Nothing came out of it. So this has to go to its logical end. It has to go to its conclusion because victims will be there. We have been on the streets. Hata sisi tumekuwa huko, ni bahati tu unaenda tu unarudi nyumbani kwa hivyo. But Kenyans will continue. That is how freedom, that's how a country becomes free. And we are not inciting people. What we are asking the leaders of this country, are they happy with what is happening? Because we are here as a country, because people in leadership, people we have entrusted, people we have given power to, they are no longer serving us. They are no longer serving us. And that is the absolute truth. That is my opinion. Let me hear from other Kenyans. Japuon, thank you for joining us. What is the diaspora people telling us? What are the people in the, is it, what is the people on the other side of the world? Let me not mention, Japuon, thank you for joining us. Are people, what is, because I know you have interacted with your fellow Kenyans. What do they make of their country, especially when images of goons invading police, invading hospitals? We have seen police drag a body of a Kenyan as if they are dragging a chicken or a dog. What are the people saying, Japan?
Thank you so much, Rasji. Thank you, my brother. Thank you, Hilary and Wanda, for the wonderful job you're doing. Rasji, allow me just to have independent thought and just submit. There's this narrative that is coming over and over here, and I'm trying to understand it, but maybe I'm missing the point here. People come here and say they are killing us because we are not organic, because we are leaderless, because we have been infiltrated, because we have no objectives to protest. Then I step back and ask myself one simple question. What happened in June 2024? Were we not leaderless? Were we organic? Were we not organic? Were we not objective? With the finance bill and all that, what about June 2025? So what is this with people coming here try to justify death and murder? When did death become so cheap, for people to use it as a platform, for, I don't know, for engagement? I don't understand, So please, if you don't have a reason to say what happened, why they're killing us, there is no justification for killing us. They will kill you. Whether there is infiltration, they still killed us. Whether you are at home, they will come for you. Whether you think you're too smart, you are in the gym working out, they will shoot you in the gym. Whether you post something on social media, they will come for you. So what reason do you want for them not to kill you? Make me understand that, because I'm hearing a lot of people here, now time to stop Maandamano, They will come for you. They'll come for you. Whether you have leaders, whether you have objections, whether you are organic or not, they are proven to us beyond reasonable doubt. What other proof do you want that they will kill you wherever? Today, people did not even show up at the street. People were home. What happened? They went to the street, waited for you there. No one showed up because, of course, they had roadblock. And it was just common sense that when you block the roads like that, no one will show up in the street. But common sense is not common to everyone, So apparently they got bored. They realized, oops, we have unused tear gas. We have some bullets here unused. Then what's happening as we speak? They go to the estate. They're killing people as we speak, door to door. So what stats do we have as we speak? We have 10 deaths now. 2 abductions, 29 injury, 37 arrests as we speak. Were these people in the Maandamano? Were these people on the streets? Were these people looting? So when someone comes to these places, Rasji as co-host and host, please try to ask them basic questions, Like, do you think you're like a master of death? Like you cannot be this regime, they don't segregate. They don't know whether you are a Luo, whether you are Kikuyu. They will come for you, They don't have a template for killing. They will kill you, So the other thing is about goons, and I don't know why people are falling for these, sometimes it drains your energy when you think you're on the same page with people, you're on the right track. Then people. I don't know if it's the energy that is getting low, or but it happens in revolution. These things happen. Revolution is not for everyone, and there are people who are opposed to live along the way, and we respect that. But if you are leaving, just leave. You don't have to give a reason. Just say, "Hi, I'm tired. This is not for me." Go back and wait for your bullet in the house. Do mistake, repost, retweet something, get angry, they'll come for you. We will still be here. They say you rather die on your toes, than beg on your knees, So who are these goons? Because a lot of people are talking about goons, criminals, paid activists, what have you. So before even you define goons and criminals, especially in these spaces, you ask yourself one simple basic question. Who benefits when we have goons on the street? Is it the Gen Z that benefits, or is it the status quo? Once you understand that, then you will stop this blame game. There are a lot of blame games in these, spaces. Who actually benefits when the goons steal? Who controls them? Who are they? We even have a CNN journalist, Larry Madowo, saying that a politician paid goons to attack him. He's there. He has evidence. They say they paid the goons to attack him, to avoid him from reporting live in this country, and he's reporting that, Why are the goons not getting shot when police see them steal live and do nothing? So when someone comes here and say, "Oh, let us be peaceful, let us not steal," no one leaves the house with the intention or with the mind that today we are going to raid this supermarket. They can as well do it. Of course, there are people who will take advantage, but whose duty is it to protect the property of the people? Should we be protesting for our rights, for police brutality and all that, and at the same time be guarding those shops? No. We have seen, and we have a lot of clips. We have seen the goons being protected by police. Someone carries a TV, a complete TV, a refrigerator. They put them in the mkokoteni and police watch. But they decide that this bullet belongs to that peaceful protester who is selling masks. So make it make sense. Why should you come here and say, no, those who are protesters? No, they will be goons. Is it we who are supposed to be worrying about them when they, and who benefits? Go back. Who benefits when they steal? Of course, the police will use that chaos. They thrive in chaos. The government will thrive in chaos. And they have their good brother who is there, who just joined them in the government. People who thrive in chaos, they are master of chaos. They see opportunities in chaos and they thrive in chaos. Gen Z is not meant to thrive in chaos. We are not meant to actually create chaos. We are supposed to be heard, but they have refused to hear us. It's as simple as that. So who is supposed to protect us when we are protesting? As we speak now, people are getting shot. You look at the footages. If you know that in Kenya, you not feel anything. People are getting shot as we speak. People are being pulled from their house and being shot. And you find someone telling you, "Oh, we went through that. They did that to us in 2023. Oh, they did that." How can two wrongs make a right? This is now. If you chose to respond in a different way, then doesn't mean that we have to respond the way you want. These are two different scenarios with two different occurrences. So the only factor that is constant here is the police. So again, let us stop the blame game here. They are talking about dialogue. Now after killing, last year they killed 60. It was organic, 60 of us. It was organic. There were no goons, everything, there was no looting, but they still killed 60. So what makes you think in your right mind that you will go there peacefully and they will not kill you? Of course, we are aware of that. We are not naive. We know these things will happen and they're bound to happen. That is what is bound to happen, and it will happen, and it will keep happening. Now, does that mean we stop? No. If you have the same mindset that some of us are bringing here, then we'll not even have independence in this country. Akina Deda and Kimathi fought for independence. How old were they? They were Gen Z's age mates. When Akina Raila and Saba Saba, when they were fighting for the liberation, how old were they? They were in the same age bracket as Gen Z today. So come on, guys, let's stop this, this double speak, And then now they're asking for dialogue. So you ask yourself, when they ask for dialogue, what do we need to tell the government exactly what we need? Do we actually need to tell them that we need accountability, that we demand end to corruption, that we demand the constitution is respected and followed, that we demand the police stop brutality, that do we actually need dialogue to tell them that? They can just read a post on X. The president has come to these spaces before. He's spoken about these things. Have they changed? Have our needs that we asked before changed? I think they're the same. So, as I learned, we don't need dialogue. They will kill you. If you protest, they will kill you. If you go against the constitution and their orders, they will abduct you and kill you. You will get lost. If you go and protest against police brutality, they will kill you. When they pass bogus bills and you protest, they will kill you. If you call for Saba Saba, they block the roads, you don't show up, you stay at home, they will come home for you and they will drag you and kill you because they are just killers. This is the police mafia, is what they do best. Just like a snake, it's meant to bite you. So that's where we are. So let's have more spaces on the way forward and strategies. For now, that is my submission. Thank you so much, Lee and Hillary. God bless you. God bless Ken.
Thank you, Japwon, and extend our greetings to our fellow comrades up there. Thank you, sir. That has been Japwon. I can see new speakers, and before I think I'll be ringing Honorable. Wherever ulitoroka, ulidrop. I was to give you the mic next, but then again you disappeared. Honorable Ngirisi, thank you for joining us as a person passionate and almost ready to join the leadership in this country. I want you to speak to the leadership of this country, especially when the country is going through what is going through at this particular moment. What is your message, first of all, Honorable Grisi? Your hand is up, and I want, as somebody passionate about leadership, take a minute to speak to the leaders of this country. Kindly.
Thank you so much, Bwana Speaker. And also the organizers of this X Space, I really appreciate you for giving me this time to speak on a few things that have crossed my mind. Nimekuwa nikisikiliza, and this is my submission. Nimekuwa hapa since the onset of this protest. I've been here na nimekuwa nikisema kitu moja kwamba the government is never going to listen, because their comfort zone right now is when they maintain the status quo. But if something was to change, then itafanyika only if we are not going to be relentless, tuendelee tu na hii kusukuma. But niko na maoni moja tu, na pia hii nilikuwa nimesikia mzungumzaji mwingine amesema that in as much as the street protest works, but the major leagues inafanya kazi where people respect the law. Because if we are going to be killed like this, if every day we are losing people, then I think it's high time we edit our settings to angalia the best way to approach hii maneno. Number one, we say that wakati tukiamua kusema we are boycotting some of these services, it's unfortunate that we suspected Safaricom for too long, It came out kwamba Safaricom has been sharing our locations and the data with the very same people wenye wanatumaliza. Apart from us being clients to Safaricom, wanarudi kushare information. Now, in a country where there is a rule of law, I think Safaricom are the number one perpetrator wenye wanasaidia hii regime ku oppress Kenyans. And we can even start with them by boycotting their services and also advising our brothers to do the same. Aya pili, we had gone forward na tumekuwa tukifanya civic education. People are now getting the message clear that the Gen Zs are well off and they have a point. But again, we've been making steps that were very productive, and we need to trend carefully so that we don't lose the steps that we made, the progress we had made. We've seen police officers come forward na wanarudi kukataa mambo ya kutumiwa vibaya. I think that was a good sign that even the police can change. Many of them ni vile hawezi kuongea live, but most of them, they've been supporting this movement. And we don't want to keep on doing the same thing that can really make us go back to the same mistakes that we've been doing. So let me come back to the point yenye tunasikia kwamba there is dialogue. Kwanza mimi niliona Raila akisema kwamba he's going to back the Gen Zs and join the Saba Saba. You know, that guy is already in bed with the same government. So mimi kwa upande wangu, in my own view, that guy has been sent to come and capture the Gen Zs and bring them back to the state. And we need to be very careful with people who are today they're in government, kesho asubuhi they're saying this. Gen Zs are leaderless, they are partyless, and they are fighting for a cause that even the world is watching and is amazed at whatever Kenyans are doing. Gen Zs wameweka Kenya kwa map. It's only that we need to be focused so that we can be going to the street with one agenda. Kama sasa hivi tukisema, why is Murkomen still in office? If we go back to the street and say now we want Murkomen out of that office, be sure that even the international communities will support kwamba this guy amekuwa too much, because we cannot fight the whole government at once. While we are in Nairobi, they are in Mombasa doing things. While we are in Kasarani, they are in Parliament passing bills that are meant to finish us. So let's go back to the format ile tulisema leo we are occupying Parliament because of this finance bill, and we deliver that resounding victory. Although we lost, there were some casualties, and it was expected because this regime knows best. Scare tactics is their game. So let's come back to Rudy to format is of it. Useme kwamba leo we are targeting Murkomen. Next we are forwarding kesi ya fulani ya Ojwang who was murdered. Number 3, to kuwe na focus so that the government knows that if these people are not going to rest until Murkomen is fired from that office, then I think Ruto is a good guy mwenye anajua kupiga hesabu yake. Atakuja sema, if I can lose Murkomen, then these people can relax for a day. I'd rather cut this hand than lose the whole body. And through that small things we are doing, those small progress is what now will bring the whole regime down, because now hata mtu akipewa hiyo docket ya kwamba asimamia as a CS interior, he will be very serious looking for ways to avert a crisis. So thank you for listening to me, and I'm still here. Sikutoroka kwa ubaya, ni call iliingia and it was a client who was looking to speak to me, but that's my 2 cents. But otherwise, kudos wale wenye tumefika kujiwakilisha, and let's not relent, tusichoke. Safari bado, until we slay the dragon, we are not going to relent. Na tuko pamoja ndugu zangu. That was my time. Thank you.
Thank you, Sana. Thank you, Sana Mheshimiwa. Thank you for that. But I had a problem of you saying Murkomen. I know it's part of the strategy, but that people are still deliberating on, and you have insisted on picking a topic to go with to the street. But I also wanted to politely remind you that we did a protest. We said that Eliud Lagat should vacate, Eliud Lagat should be arrested, Eliud Lagat should be done these and these. But today, as we talk, he is still in office, and Albert Ojwang is 6 feet under. Because the individual we are speaking about, he has decided on who to take in his government, he decides who to protect. And even the individual that you brought up, Murkomen, is also one of his best friends. So believe me, he would rather collapse with Murkomen on his shoulder. So there are individuals in this government he can't, he won't. Just the same way he did. You can't tell me that William Ruto was not seeing the public anger, the rage after Albert Ojwang killing, and people are calling for the resignation of one Eliud Lagat, but he never went anywhere. In fact, during the protest, the 25th protest, he was captured by one of the cameras on top of KICC building, giving orders and stuff. I think some of you have seen that kind of clip. So, but I agree with you with your last point. We should not relent. We should just continue pushing this to the very, very bitter end. Unfortunately, again, we're almost time, so I'll be giving each one of you strictly 2 minutes so that our hosts and others, we can take a rest. I know, and also tell us, Kenyans are insisting that this should not be a one-day event. It should not be a one-day event. In fact, many of them are calling it 7 days of rage. So are you in agreement also? I know 2 speakers, 3 have also urged us to change strategy. So kindly, as you come in, tell us, do you feel that the 7 days, people should put across as 7 days of rage? Jaber, thank you for joining us, and thank you. Sorry that I've kept you waiting. First of all, confirm whether you can hear us, because Jaber,
I can hear you clearly.
okay, thank you for joining us. What do you make of today protest? So many ladies, especially ladies, were soft targets to the purported goons. In the country, what is happening? Do we have a leadership that listens really?
First of all, I would like to say that from where I sit, I don't even see us having a leadership here. Because one, the leaders who are supposed to be protecting us are the same people who are voting for violence against us, you see. So whatever is happening in this country right now is a clear illustration of madness, as in madness by the head of state, because it's so clear that we don't want you. It is simply you forcing yourself on us, and we clearly don't want you. How big is your ego that you can't just listen to us? We are asking for very few things. We just want good governance and accountability. Must we lose lives to get that? You see, it's so painful that whether you go out to the streets or we just seated at your house, you still get killed. It is so sad. As in, you can't escape. It is so sad. And people losing lives, as in, I don't know. It's like human lives has been reduced to something like animal lives, you see, whereby you can just slaughter a chicken and eat it and it's gone. There's no way we can be losing lives each and every time. I'm not saying we stop going out to the streets. No, we have to go out to the streets and to air out our views. We must be heard also. Also, I don't know who really advises the president, but it's so clear that they're all dumb. This is just, I've never seen a bunch of stupid people seated together like this before. This is so unique. I've never seen this. And then such a whole big human being scared of kids. Like as a Gen Z, it really, really puzzles me that where I am, at my young age, I can scare somebody as old as that man. You see, it's really so sad that we can't be heard. And when you try to speak, you're putting your life at risk. You're definitely going to be gotten. You're going to get killed. You'll get abducted. It is so sad. The police, I really don't know what to tell them. It is so sad that the people you're trying to protect their interest do not even have your interests at heart. Today, you stop being a police, they're the same people who will come for you. They will still come for you. So anyone who is in bed with this government or anyone supporting this government, just know that they will come for you in one way or the other. Look at Gloria today. Gloria the other day was in bed with the government. Her cheeks were pinched in public, a buju buju style. Today she's fighting them. Why? They're only protecting their interest. Now she's out, they don't care about her. You see. So we also need to see by now that as much as we're trying to say that we are protected by the constitution and stuff, we need to see clearly that the person we are dealing with here does not respect the constitution itself. So there's no way we are going to say that we want to remove Ruto out of power through the constitution. He does not respect him because he does not respect it. Because if he really did, then whatever we're witnessing in the country today would not be there. So we just need to come up with more strategies on how to tackle this thing. We should not relent going out to the streets. We should continue keeping up with this energy. It will take us time, yes, but I believe from where I sit, we will get there. We will get there. Yes, lives will be lost, but imagine tutafika. Because if our forefathers back then wange relent waseme tunauliwa, then I don't think we would gain independence. We would have gained independence. So yes, people might die. Many things will happen along the way. Many people will join us, others will leave us, but I believe that at the end of the day, we will achieve what we want. Also, I keep on saying this, modern problems deserve modern solutions. Hakuna venye mimi natoka kwa nyumba yangu kama Gen Z, sitoki kama gunzi. I am not a goon, and I cannot be lured with things like 1,000 shillings. Cannot lure me to go and cause violence. So hakuna venye natoka kwa nyumba yangu kama Gen Z, I'm going out there to protest, just to air out my views. I'm only carrying a phone, a bottle of water, a mask. Then someone is coming with a gun, with some tear gas and some bullets. What harm can I cause with my phone? Nothing. The worst thing I can do is just record you. But ukishaniua, there's nothing else. So there's no way. I'm not voting for violence, but hakuna venye tunaenda kwa streets because we are going to demonstrate. But clearly on the other end, they have declared it as war. Unaona? So hakuna venye we are going to the streets with just our phones and stuff. And then mtu anakuja na bunduki. Kama it is war, then sawa basi, let it be war. And please, let it have rules that kila mtu basi akuje na weapon at least equal to the other, ama basi without weapon. The other day we saw Gen Z stand against the police na si walikuwa wanakimbia, meaning they can't even fight. They can't. And then the goons, I don't know how someone can convince you to cause violence and then wanakupatia 1,000 shillings. Really? Like, that is so sad. It just shows the level of poverty we've reached as a country, whereby some people, 1,000 shillings is just like gold to them. You see, they should also realize that they are also victims of bad governance. Because another thing, we cannot have a country where we are prioritizing religion over basic things like proper education, good healthcare. Hakuna venye unaenda kujenga, unasema unajenga kanisa State House ya 1.2 billion yet their kids outside, their kids who are studying outside, it's raining, hawana classes, they now don't go to school, people are sleeping hungry, healthcare iko in the pits, there are no vaccines. It is so sad. And then you're telling us you're building a church ya 1.2 billion. At a public property, kwanza, is it open to the public? Hiyo kanisa yako, is it open to the public? There are just some things that should make sense by now. We are dealing with someone who is not respecting the same constitution, you see. So, for me, in this case, I think we're dealing with Satan. So we should approach it the satanic way. Kama hiyo ndio venye nataka. Another thing, I'm really disappointed in these so-called ladies wenye wanalala na hao politicians. I am so scared, and it's so sad that at some point I really don't want to identify myself as a lady. Kama unalala politician na uko hapa, please tusaidie. You can help us. Tusaidie. We are now coming down to them one by one. One by one. We are dealing with each and everyone here. Tuna deal na kila mtu hapa. Kuna story na Ruto sasa peke yake. Yes, hatumtaki, but he's the one. Those people are all under his umbrella, you see. So we're dealing with each and everyone here. Tusaidieni nyinyi pia. That's all I can say.
I love your last point. Wait. So there has been a clarion call from Kenyan, a lady, Jaber, is appealing to anybody, or any female that knows these politicians who have been part of the problem in our country to kindly help. I don't know, she didn't elaborate the kind of help, but I think I can. I have a clue. And those are sentiments of Kenyans who are very, 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 very much tired. And we didn't. And wonder you will help me navigate through this, because it's Kenyans did not find themselves here. It's where they have been pushed. It's where they have been pushed, and we are even hearing, and there are people now also insisting that these kind of rage should not just be a one-day affair, because William Ruto is already used to wacha waende maandamano, wakimaliza wakichoka wanaenda nyumbani ama wanauliwa. I've even had a clip where a police officer threatening Kenyans with a gun and even asking you, do you want to spend your entire evening inside a fridge, or you want to go home? So those are the kind of threats. That's where hapo ndio penye tumefika kama nchi. And I'm asking Kenyans, because we are not helpless. I still believe we are not helpless. And I take such a time to beseech the young people, the young officers who have been recruited, who were recruited in the force, but their sole purpose, they know themselves, they are officers who have been bought Subarus, and the officers who were once rogue, they were recalled by this regime. I'm aware, we are all aware, there are foreigners working also with these policemen. They have been given guns. Some of them are in possession of illegal guns that they can harm you with, they can kill you with, and even those bullets are not traceable. These people, these Kenyans, and I want to come from where Jaber is coming, they are dating people. We cannot live in a country to say hatujui ya watu. We cannot live in a country, ours is a business of saying kuna Subaru zimepita hivi na hivi, we don't know. In fact, these people have given the Subaru vehicle a very bad name. A very, very bad name. And I'm appealing to the government that comes in place in future, not to use Subaru as a government vehicle. No. They have given Subaru a very, but my point is, some of these people, we know them. We know them. We cannot live in a country whereby police, you just come at umepewa tu pesa, you're in the business of shooting people like chickens. No, at some point, even your head of, even the head of this administration will be accountable, because nobody lives forever. Kila mtu atakufa tu, na kila mtu ataondoka. But the question, the business, what GNZ are saying, it will not be business as usual in this country. You come in the administration with your friends, you loot, you do all kinds of nonsense. Today, goons were in hospitals, and we are here waiting and preparing for an election, thinking that we'll get rid of these people. We must think very critically, very, very critically as a nation. So I know people have proposed a number of tactics. There are tactics that are already working. If we can decide, and I'm not here even to advise anybody. This is just an open forum where people engage. Where do we feed these animals? Where are we feeding these animals? First of all, we are feeding these animals with our taxes. That is the point number one. Number two, are Kenyans able to make the hard decisions? Like saying now, no, we are not going anywhere. We are going to sit. Are Kenyans ready for that? I don't know. It is you to answer me. Because We need a lot of change in tactics, and those tactics are meant to deny our oppressor the resources, the oxygen that makes him become too brutal to an extent that he can decide to kill, and to kill mercilessly. What are these things that are feeding? What is making these politicians become high? They can stand on podiums wearing millions. Mtu amevaa kiatu ya millions juu ngapi. He's wearing a watch and a belt worth millions of shillings and wants to preach to you that it is my hard work. We know your salaries. We know what the Constitution says, the amount of money that you're supposed to be paid. You cannot come back and tell us in 2 years, in 3 years, you suddenly become a billionaire. No. Our taxes have to be accounted at some point in this life. We cannot lack things like medical care. We cannot lack things in our education system. And you want to be very comfortable with life. Thank you so much. I know we are almost now closing, and I'll be giving in Benta, and then I'll be giving Africa 2 minutes each, and then we will call it an evening. Let us start with Benta. Benta.
Hello.
Yes, go on, Benta. Go on.
Hello, mnanisikia? Mnanisikia?
Tunakusikia. Yes, tunakusikia kaka. Endelea.
Haya. Sasa niko na point tatu. Point ya kwanza ni nimekuwa nikiangalia vile mambo imekuwa ikienda na ni kama like people do not understand what the Saba Saba movement is all about. Now, wacha niwapatie story. Moi had this country in a chokehold. Alikuwa amecontrol parliament, alikuwa amecontrol any other function of government na any other opposition na violence kuwatishia. So akapitishanga mswada kwa parliament ambayo ikaturn this country into a single party state. And when he did that, it afforded him so much time ya kurule hii nchi hadi akungekuwa na elections. And how did he achieve this? He achieved it by kuingiza hizo party zingine zote ambazo zilikuwa nje, kuziingiza into the government. Serikali mseto kama ile Ruto amefanya saa hii. It is very, very important that leo tumetoka tumeandamana because this is the same script from the KANU regime. Huyu mtu amechukua the opposition party yote ameingiza into government, amechukua party yake amwageuza vibaraka, amerule over this country with an iron fist, kutuweka itwa nini uoga, kutuua kwa streets bure. Kama leo he has defeated his own self. Wewe una block out tao kama the aim was to cripple the economy today. He has crippled the economy by himself. Na sasa tunaishi kwa nchi. Hey, this is the second thing. Juzi tulicount a budget of 4.2 trillion. 4.2 trillion is $35 billion. $35 billion. I wish you knew how much money this is. And ukikanyaga hospitali haiwork, daktari hajalipwa. Ukienda kampo huyo lecturer wako hajalipwa, hakuna facilities huko, huwezi soma. And to make the matters worse, he has multiplied school fees by 10. Mimi nikisoma campus, we used to pay 28,000 per year. Saa hii usomeshe mtoto wako ati asome IT, atalipa 232,000 in a year, crippling the education system. Saa hii unakuja unatuambia ati nataka kujenga church ndani ya State House. Si tunakaa chini tunaangaliana hivi, tunaambiana bro, unajua hiyo ni servants quarters. Unataka kwenda kujenga vitu zako ndani ya servants quarters yetu, kwa shamba yetu, tena utuambia ati unatumia pesa yangu. Umetoa wapi 1.2 billion? Guys, can you hear me? Am I still audible? Am I still here?
Yes, you are. Yeah. We can hear you. We can hear you. You have a minute. I had given you 2. You're almost on your 4th minute.
Na tumekasirika na tunaendelea tukikasirika. And the question I'm asking myself is, for how long vijana watakaa wakiuliwa kwa streets na wasiritalii? Na mimi nimemalizia hapo.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Those are 2 people that have called, let me put it in quotes, retaliation. Earlier we had Jaber who had suggested, no, we have been going to the street without anything to protect ourselves and stuff. Those are Kenyans as speaking, not the sentiments of this particular show, but it is the reality. So whoever feels like you can protect yourself, it's really up to you. And Hillary, I want you to confirm whether you're still there, our host Hillary, because I'm seeing new speakers, and we had said that we will be stopping at 8:30. Kindly engage me on the inbox whether to continue giving these people other mics. Africa, you're there?
Russ, let everybody have 2 minutes, then we close up. Okay.
Thank you for that clarification. Thank you for that confirmation. So I'll be going in this order, and I think me and Wanda was our co-host here. We will close at the tail end of it, and so this is how we are going to take it. I'll start with Africa, whose mic is already on, and then I'll go to Sam, who has just joined us. I can see Alex is trying to join us. I can see Eugene. So let me start with Africa.
Yes. Good evening. Thank you, Ras and Hillary, everybody on this particular platform. Actually, the Ruto must just go, and we have to keep on doing whatever we are doing. Now, today, even though some of us we are kept on the road, we are not able to get into the CBD, but to me, it was a success because, that kind of thing changing the entire day's program for these people and to cause them even to remain on the road, the police and everybody to be there, shutting down those offices. So to me, that was a big thing, and we should not give up, basically, to endelea kupush, because, there's no language that these particular people would be able to listen. We have to continue pushing. And I agree, I want to support even the issue of the 7 days of rage. You can imagine, suppose we did this thing on daily basis for 7 days. Siata makarau watachoka. They'll be tired. They are going to wear out. And when they continue wearing out, when we resist, because they say that resistance will always produce somewhere, at the end of the day. So as we continue to do that, we are communicating, because this is the only language that they understand. And we are not just going to focus on one guy. we also have to make sure that we deny his enablers a chance. Somebody talked of deplatforming them, denying them any chance where they feel that they are great. Like I've seen some of the members of parliament, parliament is the weakest link in this particular struggle. Parliament is to me, it is the major obstacle. Because remember, it is the parliament that approves those dwarfs, those dunderheads that are serving together with him. It is parliament that approves that budget. It is parliament that enables this particular nigger to stay wherever he's staying. So at the end of the day, the people that have failed us in a very big way are these guys that we are calling the members of parliament. Now, just the other day, I heard a certain member of parliament, he was being interviewed, and he's a first-time member of parliament, he's a young guy, and he was basically saying he used around 79 million, that he raised 49 million, then also he had that 30 million, that is what he used for campaigns. So what does that one tell you? Tells you, either they are trying to discourage people who are interested in running for offices, and if it is indeed true that he used that kind of money, then another thing that is confirming is that he didn't go there to serve the people. Somebody has just mentioned about the salaries that these people get. We have seen some of the members of parliament flouting their pay slips on social media. And I can tell you that most of them, if it was not for these NGCDF, they wouldn't be able to do some of the things that they are doing, because their salary, especially like the first timers, their salary is very much committed. The mortgages they were given for the house, the loans for the vehicles that they are paying and all that. Sometimes you find somebody has got a pay slip, which has got, at the end of the day, maybe he remains with 2K or 6,000. We have seen this. But you see, they are still doing big things. Why? Because they spent money. How do they spend this money? They give out 100 shillings, 50, 200 and all that. Then we elect them. So when they get there, what do they do? It is their interest that they serve. And they're the ones that are enabling this particular system. So for us to drain the swamp properly, I want to encourage everybody to deny any current member of parliament a chance even to address you. You have seen people, and what they do, they only change comes. Because these people, when they are together, when we begin to agitate for change, what do? They split into groups. So once they split, they start behaving like they are with us. Then later on, what happens? After the elections, we get back the same people, and then they regroup again. So that has to stop. So we have to bring down the enablers, the members of parliament. Now, I've heard one of the speakers talk about that there are no classrooms for the children. And when you look at that, you see there's a lot of, there are millions of shillings that are given to the CDF, NGCDF. That is since 2002 up to now. So at the end of the day, at this particular time, we shouldn't be having any constituency where there are children who are lacking classrooms. Look at the counties, for example. They are receiving billions. Where is this money going? So you see, there's a game that is being played. So at the end of the day, when we are focusing and saying Ruto must go, some of them now they come like they are clean and they want to talk to address us like they are with us. They are not with us. That governor over there, he was squandering that money. Why is he squandering? He's squandering because the MCA is clueless. The MCA is incompetent. They are the ones who are supposed to oversight. Why is the guy squandering what he's squandering? It is because the member of parliament is incompetent. The member of parliament is clueless. They are not able to oversight them the way they are supposed to do. So let us disengage. Let us bring down the enablers. So these enablers are the ones that are feeding them with a lot of power, enabling them to do what they are doing. So let's make it our target. As we continue to go to the streets, let's have that in mind. As we go on, let's carry that in our mind that we are sending these people home. The MCA, the current member of parliament, the senator, the women rep, we want all the system to to go. We want new people. I mean, not just new people, but people who are going to serve us, people who are going to enable us be able to bring in the change. Now, lastly, there is something that I'd want to mention, which I just participated in about two weeks ago. This is the issue to do with the education. There's been a notion that education is being underfunded. I want to tell you that in Kenya, education is overfunded. But most of these particular funds, they remain at Jogo House. Because like this financial year, they have budgeted for about 700 billion. But when you calculate, if you calculate the amount of money in terms of capitation that is supposed to go to schools, you look at whatever they are giving to the universities, what they are paying the lecturers, what goes to TSC at the end of the day, we'll still remain with a balance of around 300 billion. So you ask yourself, where does that money go? Can 300 billion be spent on policy? Because at Jogo House, at the headquarters, the only work that they have to do is policy. Can you spend that on policy? Then look at TSC, for example. Now, TSC has just been listed as one of the most corrupt entities in the Ministry of Education, because every time when you ask even the Teacher Service Commission, they'll not tell you the exact number of teachers who are employed. So at the end of the day, you find that the money that is allocated to TSC, only half of that money is used. The remaining amount is what feeds the system. And that's why they bring in bogus CEOs who are incompetent, and then their terms are extended at the end of the day. So I believe that with that, this kind of perseverance, if we continue to push, we are able to take control of this particular system so that we bring changes. Now, let us look at the university issues. I pushed through a paper and advocacy that we did when the vice chancellors were meeting in Mombasa, together with the Honorable Moses Kuri. Even we had been locked out because we had been advocating for changes. I had pointed out basically in terms of trying to quantify the expenditure at the universities in terms of the courses. Like, for example, let's take a course like maybe you are doing probably like Bachelor BA in economics, for example. I mean, what are the consumables? If you are doing a course in economics or a business course, what are the consumables? What are the direct things that particular course consumes every day, whereby we can say that now this university must charge this student this much because the university is spending this amount, considering that all the lecturers are paid by government in these particular public universities. Then you realize, if you look at that, you realize that the universities are overcharging, they have been overcharging the fees. And due to the advocacy, due to the push that we have done with that particular group that I came up with, so basically you have heard that there's going to be a reduction of about 40% of the tuition fee. Now, if that is what they are going to reduce, then you ask yourself, in the first place, why did they come up with the previous one, which now they are doing adjustments on? Where has this money been going? So they are making these things to be expensive so that certain people can be locked out at the end of the day. Because you look at what happens, even you look at, for example, the police, the military, you find when they are doing employment, in the military, we have got the people we are calling the cadets.
Africa, summarize 2 seconds.
Yes, so as I summarize, is that the system is made in a way that they are locking out the common people, so that at the end of the day, the guys who are in charge of the systems, they bring in their people, you bring in the cadets, you continue to control the military, you bring in these other officers, the senior cadre officers in the police, you still control the system. So let us continue pushing tuendelee, wacha tuendelee hata kama nukukaa kwa hizo streets kusaba. Let's be there. They are going to fall at the end of the day. Let's not give up. Even if people are dying, we are willing. So with me, I would rather die than suffer, because at the end of the day, I mean, what do you enjoy when you are living in a life of hopelessness? So you'd rather die. So let's keep on doing it until when the system comes down. Tuendelee. I learned. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Africa. Thank you so much, Africa. And Hillary, I had given Africa a bit of time because also, and Africa, there is a show that we usually do every Sunday, and that is Pressure Point. And since you are an expert in education, public policy analyst, I think you have more to tell us. You can prepare yourself well and join us in that particular show. That's every Sunday. I can see you have very important information that the public would really benefit from. Let me go to, I think Benito has spoken. Nobody else. I think all the speakers have spoken. So I'll give it to Wanda because we are closing. No. There's Sam. I was almost looking Sam Darwin. Sam Darwin, are you still there?
Yeah.
Yes, there's Sam as our last speaker because every other person on the speaker panel has spoken. Tell us your Saba Saba experience today.
Yeah, for me what I can say about the Saba Saba, kuna mambo mengi ambayo nimeweza kuanalyze upon the today's Saba Saba. One thing ni kuona kwamba the serikali, like those are the askari now they are trying to fight upon the Saba Saba, upon the Gen Zs to what upon our demands. Kitu cha kwanza ambacho ningependa tuangalie ni hili. Mimi siwezi angalia for the physical. Huwa najaribu kuangalia outside. Kitu cha kwanza ni about the goons. Wale ambao wanakuja kuharibu protest zetu wanatumwa na nani? We might be going to the protest tukiamua tuende in peace, like I remember last time tumesema tutaenda na Bible. But the moment tulifika kule ambata goons already wameletwa. Wanatumwa na nani? As we are speaking right now, right sasa wameenda kwa one of the supermarket in Juja, wameiba, and right now they have been transferred to a place in Juja farm. That's why they are staying right now, as we speak right now. No one is allowed to go outside. Ukionekana unapigwa risasi. That's what is happening right now. Kitu cha pili, what I can say is about the politician au kina one term and whoever's. Hawa watu, they eat in one table. They are always together. Wakati sisi tuna macho huku nje, they are in their houses wakiona vile ambavyo tunaenda. How can we solve these issues? Sisi tunajitokeza nje, alafu kando they are not joining us kama Babu Wino. Kitu cha tatu ningependa kuangalia hili. Kuna jambo ambalo ningependa tuzingatie sana wakati ambapo kama saa hii tunataka kusonga watoke. We have something that in us that we can put on the table, or someone anaweza to present. Yes, we have, tunaweza kuwa naye, lakini jambo la msingi ni kuimpeach Kasongo right now itakuja ilete mambo mengi sana. One, italeta GSU, and one GSU akiingia pale, yule ambaye tuko naye hataweza kupatiwa mamlaka, ataweza kupigwa. Na GSU kiingia itakuwa sasa brutality all over. Hata mwana polisi, all the stations itakuwa hazina maana.
Sam, ningekuomba Sam, nataka hiyo jambo la tatu liwe la mwisho kwa sababu ya wakati. Jambo ya tatu mwisho.
Naam, napata. Jambo la tatu ni naangalia kuhusu mambo na IEBC. Baada ya kufanya utafiti wangu nimekuja career Kasongo hataki kutoka in the office. Hakuna IEBC, haijatengwa kwa sababu inafaa kuwa prepared before the elections. 2 years before elections. Hajaza kutengwa kando. Hii ni kumaanisha Kasongo anakata, he wants to remain to the presidency. Haya ni mambo ambayo tunawakuzingatia tujue kwa nini hataki kutusikiza mambo tunatoka nje. Kwa sababu hao watu they want to protect their assets. Thank you.
Asante sana. And those that are joining us this evening, we have been doing this for hours. I think since around 6 p.m. there, and we really thank our host Hillary for allowing us to do this. We usually do this every Sunday at Pressure Point, and I'm urging everybody that feels there's something that he wanted to say, she wanted to say. I'm asking you that there is a show that we do on every Sunday. Today, we just wanted to commemorate with the people, Saba Saba, and I'm glad and I appreciate every speaker that came to the platform. Africa, I know there's something you wanted to say. Unfortunately, that one will have to wait until Sunday. I'll be giving Wanda now to close in a minute, and then we hand over back to Hillary to close the show. Wanda.
Thank you so much. I'll begin from what Jaber said. Using some of our sisters that are dating these politicians, the male politicians, or to idea in this push. On that one statement, I'll ask that we are very careful with it, because we might end up losing those sisters through assassination or through just being killed. Unless you train this person and this person is smart enough, then this person can easily be killed. Although I equally don't rubbish it in the sense that if you look into our history, our Kina Mama played a very key role. Those that were working for the Wazungus played a very key role in the Mau Mau fights and everything. That they could easily get some whatever information, like the very information outside. And if our own can do the same, then probably we'll get to understand what are these people planning, what is their next move, how do we counter their moves and such things. Number two, if you do something repeatedly and you don't get the results that you really want, then you go back to the drawing board and change tactics. There is all presidents will have something that they'll call kitchen cabinet. President Moi had a kitchen cabinet that had persons like Ezekiel Oyugi, had persons like Kamodho, had persons like Totoman, that is Nicholas Biwott. Even if this person kills, mkiangalia, akichukua kisu achinje mtu kwa barabara mkiona, that person will never be taken anywhere. Because the president believes that kitchen cabinet makes him powerful and remain in position of power. Even if today we cry and do whatever that we want to do, Murkomen is being prepared for 2027. If you have the police on your side, then you just issue the command. You're so sure that watu wakienda barabara, tutatumia polisi, then we'll be able to deal with them. Therefore, Murkomen, from where I sit, is going nowhere. Any other kitchen cabinet will equally have we'll have persons that don't have clear position, but they are just sensitive in that government. The likes of Kina Farouk. Very sensitive, but you'll never tell exactly what their roles are. Therefore, we have a few people that not unless you know these people and know how to go about these people, then it becomes very tricky and hard to deal with such a team. How do I then advise that we do? Imagining that if we do the same thing again and again, we might not get the results we want. And going back into the Paul Biya Ruto kind of argument and Daniel Moi 1982 kind of argument, that the moment a person in the presidency, especially in the African countries, imagines that their government is being overthrown or someone wants to overthrow them, huwa wanashikilia na hiyo power na nguvu zote, then they become dictators. At that point, they don't care whether they violate human rights or not. What they're doing is holding on power. And then their kitchen cabinet makes them to hold on it so firmly because they are gaining from that person being in power. If our priests or our clergy today decides to play an active role, like the way Njonjo did, not Njonjo, the way this PCA priest back in 1990, yule alikuwa anapambana na kina, wanapambana na kina the multi-party. If the priest today start preaching what is, if it's water, see kupaka mafuta because a politician will give them money, then we start winning in that end. That let the family of the clergy, the religious team, speak what is right or what is true. They should not in either way be used to establish a platform ya kuumiza watu alafu na funika mafuta juu. If the journalist today will deny that mic or that airtime to the oppressor, then we also win. Then if the civil education through the social media networks work, then we do an nonviolent kind of protest, but one that still sends the message that we want, then we win it. Because from where I sit, I don't think people normally go on those streets because they want to be violent. They normally go on the streets because they want to send a message, and they do it peacefully. Only that the goons, the police, and other quarters are the one that comes in with the tear gas and all, making everything turn violent and such things. So if we find a way of doing it, having peaceful protest, seriously peaceful protest, then having the journalist family taking an active role. Don't invite don't invite these people on your platform. Don't give them airtime. Sideline these people. If a kid is misbehaving, if you keep talking of unamuita, unamwambia wewe una misbehave, wewe umeiba hii, they will never stop. But if you ignore this kid, chances are they feel irrelevant. If we ignore these people, if the journalist family ignores them, the priest talks about it, we do proper civic education and proper nonviolent protests that are so powerful, then we win it. Lastly, as I land, let us never imagine that even if we do, even if we call for the UN, AU, or whatever to intervene, let us never imagine that an external force will come in to solve the problems that we are having. We can only solve these problems as us, but not from outside. Rasji.
Thank you so much. That has been Wanda. Wanda has been our able co-host today. We have co-hosted the show with him, and thank you again, Hilary, for allowing us do this. And I like your last sentiments, Wanda, that we only have our country, and it's either we make our country or we destroy our country with our own very hands. And we continue because the problem is not with the public. The problem is with the people we have entrusted our leadership with. So we are calling the leadership of this country to do the right thing and to hear what the Kenyans are saying. These powers were donated to you. You have simply not done the right thing with the power they gave you. And the books and the constitutions are very clear on what you're supposed to do, and kindly listen to the voice of the people. I didn't want to close Hillary without condemning what happened to the Kenya human rights officers yesterday. We saw a group of goons descend on an office that is protected by the constitution. And we are seeing a very worrying trend on anybody who is having on the decent voices in this country. We are seeing the use of goons. We have seen goons today, and we are asking ourselves, because we'll not forever call them goons, because these are sons. These are our sons. These are our young people who are intentionally being used by the political class. And we are appealing to everybody to everybody in these areas, in these settlements where you know these young people come from. Kindly do the right thing, Kenyans. Talk to them. They will never get rewarded by the political class. The political class will give them 1,500, but that is not the solution to their problems. Kindly, if you have an opportunity, for those of us who get an opportunity to meet these young people, kindly let us talk to them. They serve, or they are doing this for the political class, but unknowingly. They don't have the information that me and you have. Kindly let us talk to them. Don't allow them to go to do the kind of violence that we are witnessing today. Don't allow to the mothers of this nation. Don't allow your kid, anybody who is hearing me, and you are able to talk to the young people coming from those settlements, to my friends in Kibra, to my friends in Madare, to my friends elsewhere, kindly don't go and die because you want to push an agenda for the politician. This administration will not be here forever. And to the young policemen who have been given Subarus, who have been given guns to go and kill the young people agitating for this country, remember, there are police officers in this country serving jail terms because of extrajudicial killing. Your time and the law will catch up on you. The system, the current system, can slow the wheels of justice, but at some point, they will catch up with you. You will carry the burden alone. You will be on the dock alone. Money at the moment, you can enjoy the opulence, you can enjoy the cars, but at some point, the blood of the innocent Kenyans will follow you to your grave. Thank you once again, Kenyans, for allowing us to do this with you. Let us have another candid and open talk, if God allows us, on Sunday. And at this particular time, I want to hand this over to Hillary. And Hillary, thank you so much for allowing us to do. See you guys.
Thank you, Ras. Thank you, Wanda and everybody else.